The clock reads 3 a.m., and the world outside is shrouded in a thick silence that feels suffocating. You lie wide awake, wrapped in a cocoon of dread, heart pounding in your chest like a ticking time bomb. Every second feels agonizingly heavy, every moment transformed into a relentless spiral of anxiety. Your mind races through a sinister mental checklist, ticking off the boxes of your fears: job security, financial stability, the haunting question of whether you'll be able to provide for your family, whether you'll be enough. As you toss and turn, the sudden jarring buzz of your phone against the nightstand cuts through the stillness. It's a notification, perhaps a reminder of an overdue bill or a missed payment. Your stomach drops as you reach for it, praying against hope that it's just an error. But it's not. Your card has been declined again. That pitiful voice whispers in your ear, "What's wrong with you?" You can almost hear the judgment manifesting from the very walls of your home, mocking your failures. What whispers to you in the dark now feels like a roar in broad daylight. And that's where most people get it wrong. They ignore these signs, hoping things will miraculously change. This is more than just a financial issue. It's a heavy cloak of humiliation draped over your shoulders, suffocating you slowly. You feel like a prisoner, a slave to your choices, each financial burden chaining you tighter, pulling you further into the shadows of despair. Nothing worse than lying there at night, paralyzed by the limiting beliefs that have crept in. What will others think of you if they knew you were struggling? Judgment doesn't respect boundaries, and in this world, it seems to matter more than dignity. You get out of bed, moving like a ghost through your own home, feeling the sharp pangs of shame etch deeper into your heart. You can't shake this overwhelming sense of fear, the anxiety that tightens around your chest. Have you ever truly felt this? That gnawing sensation that you've fallen behind, that your worth is directly tied to your financial standing? The truth is, you're not alone in this. Many share this treacherous road. But admitting this fear, letting it seep into the daylight, feels like stripping off an armor you've worn for far too long. In these moments, shame consumes clarity, blocking out the truth. Picture this. You're at a gathering shortly after the holidays. Friends and colleagues mingle, their faces adorned with smiles, yet all you can see is the deception behind their eyes, the subtle way they look at you as if trying to gauge the value of your worth. They talk about promotions, raises, and vacations, while you nod along, swallowed by the suffocating silence of your secret. All the while, the thought lingers. Will I still have a job come 2026? The fear gnaws at your insides as you silently calculate the years of savings you once thought would last a lifetime. With every laugh and clink of glasses, the question echoes louder in your mind. What happens when they realize you're the first to go? In truth, you dread the whispers that ripple through circles, carrying tales of job security being a mere illusion, especially for those over 40. It digs under your skin, the awareness that the corporate ladder is more rickety than ever before, and just when you thought you were climbing it, the entire structure groans under the weight of a changing world. A part of you knows. You, yes you, are the target. They'll look to cut costs, to streamline teams, and guess who will be on the chopping block right at the top? Those whose decades of effort seem to stand in stark contrast to an industry that reveres youth, innovation, and risk-taking. But understanding these feelings, acknowledging this dread, is the first step. It's the mirror of your pain reflecting back a truth you might not want to face. We've all felt this way at some point, and that's what makes it so deeply, terrifyingly human. It's your body tapping into something primal, warning you that now is the time to act. How will you plot your escape from this nightmare? How will you reclaim your dignity? If you identified with this, let's take that next step together. Subscribe to recover your dignity, your financial freedom, and the certainty that you are worth more than what that card says about you. Your story is still unwritten, and the ink is still wet. You can reshape your narrative, reframe the thoughts that have held you captive. Remember, the first victory comes from acknowledging the struggle. This is not just a financial crisis. This is a crisis of identity, dignity, and hope. This is where we begin. In the dark, amidst the pain, ready to forge a path into the light. As you sink deeper into the spiral of despair, perhaps it's time to momentarily step back from your chaotic thoughts and find a beacon amid the tumult. That beacon, my friends, might just be Warren Buffett. Now, before you roll your eyes and dismiss him as just another billionaire, let me reframe that perception for you. Warren Buffett is not merely a financial Goliath. He is the quintessential grandfather saver, embodying a level of simplicity and patience that feels almost alien in today's frantic world. But what he said about debt changed everything for me, and it could very well change everything for you. You see, while our lives are often laced with stress, tensions, and a relentless pursuit of material wealth, Buffett offers a reprieve, a straightforward wisdom that disarms the chaos. His mantra is primal yet beautifully uncomplicated. Avoid debt like it's a venomous snake waiting to strike. Yet, in our age of consumerism, many of us have decided to dance with that very snake, thinking we can handle it. Yet, it's not about just managing. It's about outright avoiding the financial traps that ensnare us. Buffett's life is punctuated by patience. He understands that the key to riches and stability isn't in chasing fleeting trends, but rather in nurturing your financial garden. Time is the friend of the wonderful business, the enemy of the lousy business, he famously states. If time is indeed your ally, you must ask yourself, how are you using it? Are you planting seeds of debt and financial chaos, or are you cultivating a garden of financial dignity and stability? Here, my friends, lies a crucial distinction many fail to grasp. You see, the average person hustles from paycheck to paycheck, wishing those runs were sprinting marathons towards security when, in truth, it's just a relentless cycle of chaos. You may have found yourself asking, why lack the peace of mind that comes with a simple strategy? Because we are misled into believing that accumulating things will fill the void of security we crave. That filling comes at a grave cost. Debt spirals, obligations, and ultimately, an overwhelming sense of failure. This isn't just a theoretical dilemma, it's palpable chaos, manifesting in sleepless nights and the gnawing feeling of inadequacy. But Buffett showed us that simplicity can be a powerful weapon. You don't have to be a genius, he said. You just have to have a plan. Yet, how many of us have a plan? The silent truth is, we often let our fears dictate our decisions rather than a carefully laid roadmap. But then the unexpected happened. The corporate landscape began shifting dramatically. As businesses look to cut costs, it is essential to understand whom they often target. Seasoned professionals, especially those over 40. It's a harsh reality that feels like a slap in the face. Rather than being recognized for your years of relentless commitment and expertise, you're suddenly perceived as the priciest pair of boots at a discount shoe store. The world doesn't care for what you've built. It only sees the bottom line. In Buffett's case, he built a multi-billion-dollar financial empire with astute considerations that any reasonable person could adopt. His wisdom isn't just relegated to investing, it radiates into personal finance as well. He encourages a bond with your money that involves understanding and wisdom, rather than the reckless abandon that commonly engulfs so many today. The best investment you can make is in yourself, Buffett insists. And you must ask yourself, are you investing in your financial education or burying your head in the sand, hoping that your current chaos will resolve itself? The definition of insanity is doing the same thing repeatedly while expecting a different outcome. It's time to shatter that cycle of insanity. Understand this, the chaos you're feeling, a relentless barrage of insecurity, fear, and anxiety, fits into a larger narrative of your life. The simplicity of Buffett's teachings can guide you through this storm, illuminating the path back toward financial dignity and leading you toward a solid foundation for the future. This approach is not for the faint-hearted. It demands that you confront painful truths head-on. But then, you ask, how do I start to implement this wisdom into my life? It begins with a conscious decision to change the course and reject the chaos. Make a vow to eliminate unnecessary debt. Turn away from the shiny distractions that keep you tied to an endless cycle of spending. Acknowledge that your financial health is paramount, and that detaching yourself from the pitfalls of debt can bring a powerful sense of freedom. A freedom many utterly underestimate. Seek guidance from resources that resonate with the principles Buffett upholds. Educate yourself on smart savings, investments, and methods of achieving financial literacy that can empower you. Start infusing simplicity into your approach to money management. It may require you to step back from toxic habits, coffee runs, impulse buys, or extravagant dining. But in time, you will reap the rewards that come with a life lived authentically. Understanding Buffett as more than just a financier, but as a wise mentor providing a roadmap to navigate the treacherous waters of adult finance can be transformational. There's a simple rule I've followed all my life, he states. Get rich slowly. Thiessen, and that's where many people falter, believing financial security must come at the speed of light, while compounding interest is left groping in the shadows. This interplay between simplicity and patient investment is where you'll find your clarity amidst the chaos. So if you're tired of feeling tangled in insecurity, ready to release the heavy burden that debt has placed on your dignity, take heed of Buffett and his teachings. They could potentially reshape not just your financial future, but your very identity. Through patience, simplicity, and strategic planning, you have the power to reclaim your life from the jaws of chaos, reestablishing your worth and dignity. Here's your chance. Don't let time slip away while you cling to fear. The opportunity to write a new chapter in your narrative awaits. Choose today, and let Buffett's wisdom be the catalyst that propels you onto the path of financial freedom. The cold, hard truth is often accompanied by bitter realities that we'd rather ignore. As adults, especially those of us over 40, it's time to face what we might have been avoiding in the back of our minds. The significant risk of being the first to go when companies start making cuts. The mathematics of debt and the insidious social status trap combine to create a perfect storm that could wash away our chances for stability and dignity. The brutal truth? No one is coming to save you. Let's first dissect the numbers, shall we? Financially speaking, we are often under a cloud of debt that seems insurmountable. A study from the Federal Reserve shows that the average American carries over $6,000 in credit card debt alone, and that number can be much higher for those who've relied on consumer credit to maintain an illusion of financial well-being. Are you feeling the weight of those numbers yet? They are not just digits. They represent sleepless nights, anxiety, and the gnawing worry about falling behind. But it's not just the crushing weight of debt. It's how we've allowed ourselves to become ensnared in the relentless pursuit of status. The social status trap is a precarious beast, an intoxicating illusion that tells you what you own defines your worth. This relentless chase leaves many exhausted and desperate, spending more than they earn and sinking deeper into the quicksand of financial turmoil. And that's where most people get it wrong. We succumb to the pressure of living up to societal expectations instead of considering the weight of our financial decisions and their implications. Consider this. What happens when you're invited to that dinner party or festive gathering? You see friends flaunting their shiny new cars, exotic vacations, and promotions while you silently grapple with your own struggles. You nod along, feigning a smile, all the while boiling under the surface, knowing that deep down you're barely keeping your head above water. It's a scenario that many can relate to, flaunting false prosperity while drowning in reality. And as the clock ticks towards 2026, the stark reality is that companies are shifting their focus. They look for ways to slim down operational costs, and unfortunately, that often means targeting seasoned professionals. Yes, you, professionals over 40. You have extensive experience, and yet you could easily be perceived as a line item to cut. It feels like a slap in the face, doesn't it? Your decades of commitment are suddenly overshadowed by a preference for younger, potentially less expensive talent. It's a cruel irony that doesn't just threaten your financial stability, it threatens your identity. The truth is, many industries are witnessing a revolution where agility, youth, and the ability to adapt are paramount. The stability you once depended on is eroding, and it's time to confront the reality. Your position is not permanent or secure. This anxiety respects no borders. Businesses across the globe are making similar assessments, looking through the lens of profit over merit. Think about that for a second. Where are you watching this from? Comment below with your city or country, because this is a shared situation, a global crisis that lies in the very heart of our careers. Now let's dive deeper into the psychological impact of this situation. You might think that your years of dedication will shield you from the storm, yet that's the deception. It infiltrates your mind, breeding fear, anxiety, and shame. When you walk into the office, every exchange feels like an interrogation. What if they know that I'm worried? What if they sense that I'm having a tough time keeping up with the demands? This internal dialogue becomes a cacophony of self-doubt. And then there's lifestyle creep. Oh, how that beast creeps up on you. That moment when you start to believe you deserve more. A bigger home, a fancier car, and lavish vacations. Initially, they feel rewarding, but they gradually morph into financial chains that anchor you down. It's easy to overlook how quickly your lifestyle can outpace your income, especially when debt becomes an enabler, not an obstacle. Before you know it, your life becomes a race, keeping up with societal trends rather than focusing on long-term stability. And that's where many people falter. The narrative of success has been twisted by the allure of immediate gratification, leading you to chase after a mirage instead of building a substantial foundation. You might resonate with the feeling of fear that grips you as you think about how easy it would be to lose everything. It keeps you up at night, doesn't it? Well, that's the harsh reality. So what is your pathway to salvation? It starts with admitting that the facade you've created through debt and appearances is hazardous. Recognizing that no one is going to swoop in to save you is a powerful awakening. You have the strength to break free from the cycle of anxiety, to challenge that fear head-on and refuse to let it dictate your actions. It's time to recalibrate your thinking. Instead of focusing on maintaining appearances, prioritize a life built on values that align with financial dignity. The decisions you make today can forge the path toward a more secure tomorrow. Remember, there is no knight in shining armor coming to rescue your finances. You must be your own hero. This realization can feel overwhelming, filled with panic, but it's also liberating. The truth is that you are not alone. Many have traversed this path and emerged stronger. So take a moment, step back, and gauge your situation. Make a commitment to change your course instead of being swept away by the tide of circumstances. The brutal diagnosis has been laid bare before you, but now it's a matter of taking that next step, embracing the discomfort and confronting the reality that only you can reshape your future. It's time to act, to reclaim your dignity, and to silence the fear that has lingered for so long. Buckle up and prepare for a pivotal moment. The journey towards financial stability beckons, and you have the power to transform everything that lies ahead. Welcome to the pivotal moment. If you haven't felt the tremors beneath your feet, it's time to snap back to your reality. The battle plan is here, and it's your lifeline, a roadmap to reclaim your dignity and forge a path towards financial stability, even in an uncertain landscape. In a world where professionals over 40 could easily become the first casualties in corporate reorganization, it's not merely about survival. It's about thriving with the confidence that comes from taking control. Let's break this down into the non-negotiable pillars that will fortify your foundation for the future. 1. The Dignity Fund, your financial emergency shield. Imagine this. You wake up one morning to find your company has come under fire, and your position has been eliminated. The weight of anxiety screams out and your mind races. What would happen if you had a financial cushion, a dignity fund? This isn't just a safety net. This is your insurance policy against the storm of instability that could sweep you away. First, assess how much you need to sustain your lifestyle for at least 6 months. This involves taking a hard look at your monthly expenses: housing, food, utilities, insurance, and any other fixed costs. Get gritty with the numbers. Don't gloss over what you truly need to survive. Now, how do you build this fund? Here's the painful but necessary instruction. Start by setting aside a portion of every paycheck, realistically, 20% if possible. It may burn to cut back, but this is about survival. Action steps. Open a separate savings account designated solely for your dignity fund. Automate your contributions. Let it come out before you even see it in your checking account. Cut unnecessary expenses from your budget. Yes, you might need to cancel that streaming service that you've convinced yourself you can't live without. And that's where many people falter. They underestimate how drastically tightening the purse strings can safeguard their future. But remember, every dollar saved is another step away from the looming abyss of financial distress. 2. The No Debt Pact, breaking free from financial slavery. It's time. There's no beating around the bush. The No Debt Pact is your declaration of independence from the chains of consumer debt. Think of this step not just as a strategy, but as a commitment to reclaim your dignity. The reality is that debt is a beast that will devour your future if left unchecked, pulling your financial standing into a dark swirl of despair. Start by making a list of all your debts, credit cards, loans, and any other obligations. Don't hide from it. Face the magnitude of your situation. This is what you'll battle against. Now here's your tactical move. Implement the snowball method. This involves hunting down your smallest debts first and eliminating them one at a time. giving you momentary wins to fuel your motivation. Once a debt is paid off, roll that payment into the next smallest debt. Painful steps. Cut your credit cards. Yes, I said it. If it's not a necessity, slice it up. Let go of the plastic that has forged a false sense of security. Resist the impulse to take on more debt. When faced with the allure of a new purchase, remember, do I want it or do I need it? But then the unexpected happened. The relief of walking through life without the weight of debt creates a sense of freedom that many cannot fathom. It's empowering, and that empowerment leads us to our next vital pillar. 3. The compound interest rule, your reliable ally. Let's shift gears. There's a world of wisdom in compound interest that many overlook. Imagine being able to build wealth while you sleep. Compound interest isn't just a financial mumbo-jumbo. It's a recipe for wealth. This is where your money works as hard as you do, compounding over time until it snowballs into a hefty sum. Start now by investing in your financial education. Familiarize yourself with mutual funds, ETFs, and other low-fee investment options that allow you to grow your nest egg without making your head spin from extreme risk. Specific action items. If you're not already contributing to a 401k or IRA, set up an account today. Aim to contribute at least enough to take full advantage of any employer matching. This is free money. Commit to reinvesting your dividends. Every cent, no matter how small, can lead to a more substantial portfolio down the line. And that's where most people get it wrong. They believe they have plenty of time to think about investing and wait until it's more convenient. The truth is that the earlier you start, the more you leverage the power of time on your side. 4. Continuous learning and adaptation. The lifelong commitment. The corporate world is shifting beneath your feet, and those who refuse to adapt are at greatest risk. This isn't merely about preparing for the worst. It's about positioning yourself for a better future. Embrace continuous learning. Today, invest in yourself as your greatest asset. Update your skills through online courses, attend workshops, and network within your industry. The world changes daily. Adaptability is your superpower. Concrete steps. Allocate several hours a week to learn something new, be it an advanced software relevant to your field or the completion of certification that could elevate your career standing. Create a dedicated budget for professional development. Don't compromise on this. Your career and potential depend on it. As Warren Buffett wisely said, the best investment you can make is in yourself. Those words weigh profoundly now. Invest wisely, adapt promptly, and you'll secure your place in a world that is ever evolving. This is your battle plan, fortified by pillars designed to guide you through uncharted waters. Deploy these strategies to anchor your financial future, and remember that empowerment comes from taking decisive action. Let this journey not just be about surviving, but thriving in dignity. It's time to rise, to fight for your future, and reclaim your worth in a world that has minimized it for far too long. These steps may feel uphill, but the summit is within reach, and you are equipped to climb. Grab hold of this battle plan and march forward into a future where you dictate the narrative. The time to act is now. Your financial freedom is waiting for you at the top. As you embark on this transformation, it's crucial to arm yourself with strategies that shield you from a common foe. Relapse. That feeling of envy creeping in from your neighbors, or the pressure exerted by friends who seem to be living a life you desperately crave, can be insidious. Are you ready to confront that head-on? Because that's where many people trip up, feeling the phantom grip of social pressure tighten around their choices and resolve. Living in a society that shamelessly flaunts success can make you feel like an outsider in your own life. Or worse, a failure. Whether it's that shimmering new car parked in the driveway next door, or the extravagant vacations flaunted on social media, remember this. They too are grappling with their financial demons. They may wear a mask of success, but behind it lies a pressure that could very well be suffocating them. And that's where most people get it wrong. They fall into the comparison trap, allowing the allure of someone else's life to cloud their perspective. You have to remind yourself that those external symbols of success do not reflect your value or self-worth. You are not defined by the grandeur of your possessions. Instead, you are defined by your resilience and ability to adapt to a changing landscape. But then the unexpected happened. You realize that envy leads only to discontent. When you feel that twinge of jealousy rise within you, pause and take a breath. Recognize it for what it is. a distraction from your goals, a toxic cloud that threatens your clarity. Shift your focus back to your dignity fund, your no-debt pact, and your commitment to compound interest. These strategies will build the life you desire, one decision, one day at a time. Visualize a world where you no longer feel that pressure to conform. Picture a future where your financial decisions empower you instead of shackling you in fear. It's 2026, and you're standing proud of what you've achieved. You wake up in the morning feeling secure, not only in your finances but also in your identity. You no longer measure your success against your neighbor's flashy lifestyle. Instead, you measure it based on your progress, your journey toward freedom. Imagine sitting across from your family at dinner, a calm smile replacing the tightness of anxiety. The weight of worry is lifted off your shoulders as you share meals filled with laughter rather than conversation laced with veiled envy. You embrace the simplicity of life, valuing experiences over possessions, dedication over superficial comparisons. Every decision you've made has led you to this moment, this tranquil surge of peace, and it is all rooted in the choices you stuck to during the hardest times. But then you might ask, how did I get here? The truth is that it all began with a commitment to resist the noise around you. You developed a resilient mindset, understanding that the real wealth comes from within, a richness that cannot be tarnished by external forces. You were diligent in sustaining your financial independence, refusing to succumb to peer pressure or display an image of success that didn't align with your values. 2026 brings more than just security, it brings dignity. You fought against the societal expectation to keep up, and in that fight, you found empowerment. Visualize walking through your neighborhood, no longer burdened by the judgments you once feared. Instead, others now look to you in admiration, not because of what you own, but because of who you've become. Let's be real for a moment. The road ahead may have challenges, envy can resurface, and social pressures will always exist. That's the nature of society, built upon the scaffolding of achievement, status, and competition. But should you falter, have a plan. Remind yourself of what's at stake: your dignity, your future, your peace of mind. Acknowledge the fear of missing out, but shift it into fear of missing out on something greater: your financial freedom, your ability to live authentically rather than chaotically. And that's where most people falter. They relapse into old habits, forgetting the strength they've cultivated. Create a mantra, something that sings out in those moments of doubt. Repeat to yourself, "My worth is not tied to my possessions. I am more than my paycheck." Surround yourself with like-minded individuals who uplift and support your journey rather than drag you back into the cacophony of financial chaos. Practice visualization regularly. See yourself in 2026 thriving, flourishing with a deep sense of satisfaction and fulfillment. Make this vision palpable, something you can touch and feel. Picture your dignity fund standing proud in your savings account, the weight of debt melting away like frost in the spring sun. Your self-worth unfurls like the petals of a blooming flower, and each encounter with your neighbors becomes a point of empowerment rather than envy. Now, as you solidify your financial strategies and enhance your mindset, realize the extraordinary ground you've covered. You are investing in your future. You are building a life of dignity rather than one of debt. Let those who attempt to undermine your choices become reminders of why your choice was right, because true freedom lies not in conformity, but in self-acceptance. In this moment, I urge you to embrace the peace that awaits you when you make these commitments. 2026 is not just a date. It's a canvas upon which you will paint a life that transcends standard financial narratives. That's right. No longer will you be defined by the societal metrics of financial success. You will create your own path, one that resonates deeply with your values and existence. So begin today. Allow the distractions of envy and societal pressure to evaporate in the radiance of your grounded sense of self. You've got this, and the future you envision is on the other side of this commitment. Stand proud, stand tall, and let your determination radiate forward. Your mental pivot is the first step toward a brighter tomorrow. Don't ever forget that you hold the brush to create the masterpiece of your life. As we draw this journey to a close, let's take a moment to reflect on what you've discovered, the harsh realities, and the hope that emerges from those shadows. Here, we stand together at a poignant crossroads. This ultimatum is not merely a final note, it's your call to action. the stirring that beckons you to forge ahead with purpose and clarity. And that's where many people get it wrong. They view this moment as merely another financial lecture, a passing tide of words. But this isn't about fleeting chatter. This is about your future. Your career, your dignity, and your very identity hang in the balance. The stark reality is that if you are over 40, you must begin strategizing now. The world we know is shifting beneath your feet, and if you find yourself stagnant, time will not wait. The question that lingers is not only, will I be okay, but, am I willing to fight for my own survival? So, thank you for sharing this space and time with me. You have chosen to confront these fears, to lay your vulnerabilities bare before the cold light of reality. Let that decision be a sign of strength, not weakness. Each word exchanged here, each moment of honesty you've faced, has empowered you to reclaim your future. The clock is ticking. Every moment you hesitate, there are others out there forging ahead, adapting, learning, and positioning themselves for success. Time is the friend of the wonderful business, the enemy of the lousy business, Warren Buffett once remarked. But make no mistake, time is also the friend of the proactive individual and the enemy of complacency. Think about that as you navigate your life from this point forward. Are you allowing time to slip through your fingers, or are you harnessing its power to cultivate growth, to flourish? Here's a radical concept. What if you woke up tomorrow, looked yourself in the mirror, and chose to face the unyielding truth of your situation? What if you self-declared your resolve to make a change, to stand against the tide that seeks to sweep you away? Consider this your stark reminder. No one is coming to save you. It's a bitter pill to swallow, but if you've made it this far into your life journey without a solid strategy for resilience, now is the time to pivot. The fear you've felt, whether it's anxiety clawing at your chest in the dark or the shame that parks itself deep within your soul, must transform into a rallying cry. And yet, amidst this tumult, allow me to impart this. Resentment toward the system, the corporate structures ruling your livelihood, will not serve you. It will only fester into a bitter anchor that weighs you down. Instead, embrace the discomfort as a catalyst for change. The uncertainty that grips you is a universal truth. Many are rejecting the idea of remaining bound by a traditional path. You have the power to sever that umbilical cord. Yes, you. This is not merely a transaction. This is an evolution. As you prepare to navigate uncharted waters, recognize that the company you could potentially uproot, the dedication you've poured into your role, the hard work built over decades, is not wasted. Rather, it's the very foundation upon which you will build your next chapter. And that's where it starts to get exciting. Let that animosity transform into an insatiable hunger for knowledge and growth. Your life's pursuit can shift from survival mode to thriving. Not merely in financial terms, but in embracing each day with courage. Your narrative is far from finished. Make each new chapter resonate with purpose and dignity. As you step into the uncertainty of 2026 and beyond, contemplate your worth, your value, and your drive for progress. Envision a future where you can thrive rather than survive. Isn't that the goal we all crave? It's time to break free from the constraints of fear and choose. Choose growth over stagnation, security through preparation, instead of a false sense of safety. Remember, comfort zones can be dangerous traps. Seductive, yes, but ultimately stifling. The life you desire, the dignity you deserve, is outside of those tightly knit boundaries. As you embark on this new course, remember to cultivate a spirit of resilience because life will test you. At times, will it feel overwhelming? Yes. Will it feel like you're battling an uphill fight? Absolutely. But waver not, for with every setback comes a significant step forward. As we close this chapter, I leave you with the weighty wisdom of Marcus Aurelius. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Let that notion resonate deeply within you as you move forward, ready to seize the reins of your life. You cannot control the markets, the decisions made by corporations, or the fleeting judgments of society. What you can control, however, is your response, your preparation, your will to thrive against the odds. So go forth with the strength of conviction in your heart. Stand resolute in your dignity and be the artisan of your fate. Time waits for no one, and the best time to act is always now. This is your moment. Your story deserves to be unwritten, unfolding with dignity and purpose. Whether you face a mountain of challenges or a valley of uncertainty, trust in your resolve, harness the lessons you've learned, and keep moving toward the beacon of 2026 with your head held high. Thank you for your time, your attention, and your commitment to a better tomorrow. The journey is long, and the weight may feel heavy, but remember, you are the master of your fate. It starts with you, right here, right now.